All right, so this video is going to be a way to use Google Sheets to help you create visuals for the assignments on 12.1. So before we actually dive in, I want to show you that if you want to go to Google Sheets, you should be able to do this with your Cornerstone account, but you can go here and you can go to Google Sheets. And then it should bring up a place. This is showing my other one, but if you're logged in with your Cornerstone account, it should bring you to a place to do this. So, and then it's going to have everything down here, but you're just going to click a blank one. And here we are. We have a sheet. And so this is a pretty typical spreadsheet if you've never used Google Sheets before. If you've used Excel, it's really similar. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at one example from 12.1. We're going to look at the example on page 676. And we're going to look at how we can use this to help us out. So page 676, example 2. Right, so this section in the book is talking about sampling, frequency distributions, and graphs. And so for us specifically, we're going to look at how we can use this jumbled up mess of information and create a histogram using Google Sheets. So I'm looking at this example, and it says, here are the hourly wages of a group of 30 workers who are performing similar tasks, but because of differences in seniority and skill are paid at different rates. And it wants us to make a frequency distribution of these rates. And then eventually it wants you to make a histogram in part D. So what we want to do is we want to get all of this data and put it into our spreadsheet in just one column. So I'm going to go left to right, top to bottom, and just put these values in. So the first person makes $8. The second person makes $7.90, $8.10, $8, $7.70, and then I'm going to go to the next one, $7.90, $7.80, $7.70, $8.10, $8, $8 on the third column, $7.90, $7.90, $8.20, $7.80, $8.10, $8, $7.80, $7.80, $7.70, $7.90, $7.80, $8.10 an hour, $8.20 an hour, $7.80 an hour. And then we're going to the last column, $7.90 an hour, $8 an hour. Whoops. $8 an hour, $8.10, $8. And this is good for us because it looks like we didn't miss anything. We have 30 pieces of information. And so first I'm going to show you how we can organize this from top to bottom, meaning chronologically. So if you highlight all of this, there's a few ways to do it, but I'm going to show you if you highlight all of this and then right click it, it gives you some options here. And I'm going to go to the sort range. And when you do that, it might not make sense, but A to Z is the same thing as lowest to highest. So I'm going to click sort and watch what we do. It automatically takes all of my information and sorts it for me from lowest to highest. So when it asks a question like, what is the most frequent rate? You can look among here, and for us, I see that there are 6 people that make $7.80, 6 people that make $7.90. This one looks rather large. There are 8 people that make $8 an hour, so that's probably our most frequent. But moving on to how can I get this to make a data visual? So if I highlight all of this information and I go to Insert I can go to chart right here. And it's going to create a chart. It's working. Okay, and so what it's going to give me initially is just a line chart, but that's not what we want for this specific problem. We want a histogram. So you'll notice there's a chart editor over here when I have this chart selected, and I'm going to click this, and I have a choice that says histogram. So I'm going to choose histogram. Okay, and so this is a good looking histogram. So we've got three things here, and what it tells me is that I've got so many values between $7.70 and $7.90, and then I have so many pieces of information between 790 and 810, and then so many between 810 and 830. I'm going to edit this a little bit so that these get spread out and we see a little bit more of the shape of this histogram. So I'm going to go to customize, and I'm going to go to histogram. And right now, it gives me this option for bucket size. I'm gonna edit this bucket size. So let's see what happens. Oh, okay. Well, that's a thing. How about I go and change this to 10 cents and see what happens. So what you'll notice is that it changed my buckets to 10 cents down here. And you can kind of mess around with this and see what happens every time. So this is what we started with, a 20-cent size bucket. And if you go bigger, you'll notice that 30 cents, 50 cents, the ranges change. I would recommend for this one to stick with 10 cents because we get a real visual of what's going on here. And so what this tells me is that I've got 8 pieces of information in this bucket, 9, excuse me. 6 pieces in this bucket, meaning values between 790 and 8. And then this looks like 13, and then probably 2, which makes sense for us because we only have two values that are above $8.10 and including $8.20. So that is one way that you can create a histogram. It says make a frequency polygon of this. So if you were to take this and then we could just take this and open up a Word document. But before I do, I'm going to copy this. So I'm going to copy this, copy chart. I'm going to go to my Word document, just a blank space. You could also just print this out. And so to make a polygon, we'll see if it will paste for us. Come on. I guess we will go a little old-fashioned, and I'll just take a snip of this histogram so then I can draw on it for you to see. All right, and so to do a polygon, not pink, we'll go, let's do orange. All right, so really your polygon, I know this might seem strange, but we're starting at 0, so you could start your 0 from anywhere over here. I tend to just like to start from as far left as possible, and then you're going to go to the middle of your column there. And so I like to make the middle of all of my columns before I start to draw my polygon. So if I draw this, and then I connect all of my from left to right, and then there we go, we have a polygon. Now, the thing is, if you're looking at your book at this example on page 676, you might notice that my polygon looks different than theirs, and that's okay. Histograms can differ based on how you organize your bins and your buckets, and then and that's okay. It just shows a different shape. So that is an example of how to use Google Sheets to create a histogram for you. I hope this was helpful.